to be honest.
Goodness gracious.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Elevensies, the late morning show with Lisa and Anton. Back after a brief hiatus.
Yes, we
were away
really
for a couple
couldn't
of weeks.
get online on Wednesday. So yesterday we just decided we won't frustrate ourselves and go crazy. We'll just do what the universe is telling us to do and skip a day. So we're back today, though.
We're back!
And I'm on wild spirally tie-dye.
Which is cool. Cool and trendiferous.
I love this. I got this in Woodstock. It's one of my favorites.
Woodstock.
Woodstock.
Gosh, yes,
Yes.
we are a bit like Woodstock, aren't we?
Yeah, well, you're in your awesome tie-dye today, too.
I am.
Orange
I'm all
and blue.
orange and blues. Orange and blues, tell you
Opposite
friends.
colors, yeah.
So let's see if anybody joins us. If you're watching us on the Tube of You, I don't see anybody yet. And I
We
don't
miss
know.
a day and then nobody cares anymore.
Oh, no, that's it. We slide into complete obscurity.
We're
We're
kind
going,
of
what?
in
Where did they go?
obscurity anyway.
We're languishing. We're languishing
in obscurity.
in relative obscurity. There you go.
Oh,
Somebody's,
there's Shauna. Hello, Shauna.
somebody's joined us on the Book of Face, but where? Where indeed on the Tube of You are you today? You should have received notifications, unless the notifications have gone completely hopeless, which is possible. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I've definitely, I've done everything. I've saved it. So we'll continue anyway. And if anybody joins us, they join us. And if they don't, they don't. Whatever. It's all good.
All right, Fantastic Fridays.
Fantastic Friday. Dun,
So
dun, dun.
we started Elevensies about 6 months ago now, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
Maybe a
no,
little
8
more.
months. Got to be 8 months because we're into season 8 and we start a new season every month.
Oh,
And so
okay.
we're actually episode
Joe, good
14.
morning.
We're actually episode 14 of season 8 right now.
So it's
8
more
and a
than
half
half
months.
a year. Okay. All right.
8.5 months, yeah.
All right.
Somebody's
so,
watching us now. Say
yeah,
hello if you're
and
on the
traditionally
Tube of You.
on Fridays we had talked about the story of us.
Yes, which is bizarre to say the least.
Witches. We talked about
We are bizarre witches, actually.
So I think we're going to talk a little bit about
Erin,
where
Alice,
we are
good morning,
now.
good morning.
except okay.
No, please.
Okay.
I'm just acknowledging somebody acknowledged us.
That's wonderful.
I'll shut up now.
No, I certainly don't mind that, but if you want to talk, I'll be glad to let you talk.
Oh, I'm getting remonstrated.
Because
Please.
why yell over top of me? Nobody can hear either of us that way.
I'm so sorry. Morning, Gilda. Please continue.
No, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk
No,
to
I'm
people.
done.
It's all
I'm
good.
done.
You
I'm
go
done.
for it.
I've done. No, please. You're going to say. I want you to. I want you to say. I want you to say. I'm done. If you join us now, I will acknowledge you later.
Oh, all right then. Yes, because you don't understand, you see. I'm over 50, and I have what's called sometimers. Sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. And if my train of thought gets derailed, it's not like when I was 30. I'll forget everything I was talking about. You know how it goes. Like, we can go into the kitchen and forget why we went into the kitchen, and we have to think about it. And when we leave the kitchen, then we realize why, and we go back and we've forgotten again. So I don't think he understands that, women go through something that I call mental pause. And I've got so much on my mind that when I get interrupted, I'm gone, right? So the whole time that I'm talking now, I'm trying to remember what I started to say 3 times while he was yelling at people. So I think I was saying that traditionally on Fantastic Fridays for the past 8 months, we have tried to focus Friday on talking about us and how we met and all those kind of things. And I think we've told you pretty much every story that we could think of. Now he's purposely saying nothing.
I've been told I can't speak.
No, I said
you're
I'd
going to
be glad
lose
to
your
let you
train of
speak.
thought. You're going to go, I speak one word, and you go, what?
Yep. So I think today we'll talk a little bit about our plans for the future.
Ooh.
So, what does this say?
Are we going to let people
mental
into,
pause. I love it. Yeah. Well, you can relate, right?
we're going to let people into our inner circle?
Yeah.
Our sneaky
So, obviously, people who know us know that we've had the business for 28 years and that we've been working really, really hard. We're not afraid of hard work. We're self-employed. We've had 2 stores in England at the same time we had the store over here. We've built our tradition. We got a church legally recognized as a federally recognized 501c3, that we have Celtica kind of, trying to build some momentum there. COVID kind of took its toll on things that we had going. And we really do look forward to having a place where all of this work will be preserved, right? Not just our work, but the work of our community and the work of the craft itself. So we definitely want to manifest something along the lines of Celtica, and we would love for it to be at 181 Huguenot Street.
It will be. So noted.
And we are working towards there. So we've kind of talked amongst ourselves as to how are we going to get better known.
Yeah.
And we've tried to get some people to help us with fundraising, and we've tried to get people to help us with social media, and we've tried a whole bunch of different avenues of things. What?
No, I'm just saying, if you want to do anything, do it yourself, generally, isn't it? So why do we need to be well known? Well, if I was Bob Geldof and I just said, I want your money and I want it now, you've never heard of Bob Geldof. Get the hell out. Boomtown Rats. Live Aid in the 80s.
All right. Well, if I was English, I'd know.
All right. Well, you would know Bob Geldof. You absolutely. Or was it Stranglers? I can't bloody remember that. Anyway, it was a new age group. But Bob Geldof was the driving force behind Live Aid. And he got up and said, I want your money and I want it now, and promptly raised I don't know how many £millions and dollars, for that cause. Simply because people know him. Yeah. Same with anybody else. I mean, Prince Charles, this cause, give us money. And people do. And yet, when you languish in obscurity, we could have the best cause in the world, and we honestly do believe ours is a just and valiant cause.
Well, we are environmentally focused, and we're focused on preserving the craft of the wise, the path of the witch.
Yeah, and basically trying to save the bloody planet and humanity and all that from ourselves,
If you teach people about how to take care of the planet and how to follow and,
how to treat every living thing with respect, that's the thing. Late stage capitalism, and don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against anybody making a buck or three.
Oh, not at all.
But late stage capitalism,
not at the cost of human lives.
The forest has no value until it's cut down. It doesn't. They don't see it as this is a colony of sentient beings. It's just board feet of lumber, and that's very sad. And that's why we are where we are. But coming back to what we were talking about, unless people know of us, how the hell do we get our message across? How do we raise the massive amount of money? Right, and we're talking serious money here.
We have honestly, if you go back and look, we have honestly done Elevensies, I think, every single Monday through Friday except for 4 days. In 8 months, we've only missed 4 days. And 2 of those days, Anton was in the hospital. And 2 of those days, we were away on business where we had no access to a decent Wi-Fi. We just couldn't do it.
We tried.
It's not like we weren't willing to do it.
Forget
all right?
It. This wasn't going to happen. So.
And you still see, like, our YouTube station, in those 8 months, we've reached 3,000 subscribers.
A little over 3,000 subscribers.
So we need to put some zeros on that.
We need a lot of zeros.
We're going to ask you, as helpers and preservers of the path and as esoteric spiritual people, to go out there and get people to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Right? We need you to do the Fabergé thing. Do you remember that old commercial? You tell 2 friends and they'll tell 2 friends and so on and so on.
It's a chain reaction.
So we'd love to do that. And we thought, Anton and I have breakfast meetings.
We do.
You can imagine that.
Occasionally there's breakfast.
And we brainstorm and try to figure out how to put our skill sets to good use, you know. And sometimes what we come up with is very effective and we can see it all the way through. And other times what we come up with sounds like it should work.
Brilliant!
And we put some time and effort and energy into it, and it kind of gets derailed. But I think what we've learned in our 20-something years together is that a lot of the times we have to do the lion's share of the work ourselves. So this way, we've kind of built quite a skill set. But we also don't have the time to build the skill sets for every single thing.
Yeah.
So we thought, what can we do from where we're standing now to really build our profile?
Increase our leverage.
So being old school, I know that 5 keys to business success.
Yeah, right, okay.
There are 5 keys to business success. 1 is location. Number 2 is location. Number 3 is location. Number 4 is product. And number 5 is customer service. So you could say really they're location, product, and customer service. But location is immense.
It's key. Unless people come to see you.
Right. So you either have to drive people to the place or be in a place where you can be found.
Right.
So for many years now, people have been coming in the shop and saying, you should have a store in Salem.
Yep.
You should have a store in Salem.
Everybody goes to Salem to buy witchy stuff, you know?
And
they probably do.
I kind of like to keep to myself. I don't want to get sucked into any witch wars, or I'm just too old for drama, you know?
Well, it's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
Although there are some that says there's no such thing as bad publicity, and I'm sure there are some people who rock the boat purposefully, if you will, to create a little bit of a furore, which grabs attention because everybody loves a good fight, don't they? You know, a good punch-up, especially if it's all done in public. You know, that's what we like. We all watch train wrecks, don't we?
Yeah,
you know, the bubble-headed bleach blonde comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the dirty laundry stuff. I mean, it does. You know, hat tip to Don Henley there, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Brilliant lyricist, yes. But yeah, so we don't vibe to dirty laundry. We're not sensationalists. That's not
which is why we kept ourselves to ourselves for so long.
Yeah, we try to spread love.
But it's really funny because as many people that come in a week, we always hear, how long have you been here?
Are you new?
When did you open? We're like, 28
okay.
years ago. I never saw it before. So we joke a lot that we're like platform 9 3/4.
Yeah,
that,
I think that's a good way of looking at it.
The shop only appears when you're ready to see it.
That's about the size of it.
But we are getting to a point now where we really need to figure out how to drive people to our location. So the business trip that we were on these past couple days was to do some scouting.
In-depth market research and scouting.
We did some scouting and some, we joked about it being a spy mission.
Well, it was.
To see if we vibed to opening another location. Because it could be a store that would feed the New Paltz store. So we would need it to be like in this country this time, because if it's going to feed the New Paltz store, it would make sense that it was within driving distance from the New Paltz store. We still haven't given up on having another store in the UK, but that's another story. That's for another day. That's a story for another day,
definitely. Definitely, yeah.
So we did some spy work. And
you're allergic to me, aren't you? I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
She's allergic to me. I know.
Really sorry. We did some spy work and some price comparison and some, just really looking at the lay of the land. And we're realistic people, and very much I am a numbers person. So I'm thinking that
ground some numbers you did.
Yeah, the juice may not be worth the squeeze,
It may
as the
not
old
be.
saying goes, you know?
Yeah, we've been in the position before where we've rented property and been sorely screwed by our landlord, a very greedy pension company. We're not doing that again. No way. So we would probably want to own the building, and
There's
property
nothing for
prices
sale.
are astronomical, putting it politely.
Well, they're not compared to rent. Like,
no. Oh,
there
yeah,
was
no.
we looked at a 3,000 square foot store in a strip by Starbucks.
Yep.
And if you are, hope you're sitting down, because the monthly rent. Now this is before you employ anybody, turn on the lights, buy any stock,
and it's not turnkey.
It's not turnkey. It would have to be
tremendous
completely
amount of work
renovated,
to
so you'd
do
have to
that.
put probably 20 grand in there. The monthly rent was $6,850. Now,
It's a huge amount of money.
that's $1 million mortgage and the rest.
And the rest, it's $1.75 million probably, depending on the rate you get,
And looking at, this is peak season, and looking at the foot traffic. Now, I know it's COVID. I almost said foot and mouth. I know that it's COVID.
Stop it.
I know that it's COVID, so
Yeah.
it's probably not as busy as it normally
As it
would
could have
be.
been, yeah.
But you're still seeing the peak of the traffic flow of the time that you would have to collect revenue to pay that $7 grand a month,
Hello.
So we're a little concerned that might not be the best use of our resources.
Yeah, time and resources, yeah.
But we still need to do something to become a household name so that we can have
Achieve our end
Celtica.
game. Our end game, yes.
We've got some time left while we're able-bodied. So we're also going to ask you guys to promote our book, right? So,
Shameless plug time.
yep. So Simply Wicca. Go to Amazon. Go to Barnes and Noble.
Goodreads.
Go wherever you can and give this
The thumbs up.
the thumbs up. Review it in depth if you've read it. And if you haven't read it, we would love for you to buy one and read it. And if you could share it different places, right? If there are a lot of marketplaces, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Show your copy off.
Right. Show off your copy on some of these groups and, where people are really asking, I want to learn about Wicca. Because this is old school Wicca. It is not a fluffy bunny Wicca. It's old school Wicca. So if people really want to learn about the cycle of the sun and the moon and the stars and the Sabbats and
Even what Wicca actually is.
what Wicca is and the history of the craft of the wise and Skittles making me nuts. Anyway, if you really want to learn about that, this is a great book. Now we do have other things in the works.
We do.
That will help us to become a household name, but we've gone into our second printing.
Which is good.
We really need to get this out there. And shout out to Lori Cabot. Hers was the only store in Salem that was carrying our book.
Didn't go in every store.
Well, we went into a lot of them. And, so we'd love to be in every bookstore, every metaphysical bookstore.
This is very
and
true.
There's a lot of information in here that is useful in our humble opinion. So
it doesn't suck.
We'd love for you to support us in that way, right? So I know that not everybody could make a donation to Celtica.
That's cool.
I totally get that. Many of us are, working on a tight budget, no matter what scale it is, whether it's trying to run a business or trying to just run our household or keep our car on the road, whatever it is. So I get that not everyone could make a donation to Celtica.
And that's fine.
But you can donate energy or a little bit of time, right? I'm sure a lot of you are on social media every day. Share the book. Share the shop's website. talk about crystals. Do whatever you can do to help us not be such a well-kept secret.
Yep. Hashtag awareness shop. Hashtag Lisa and Anton. That'll do nicely. Anything like that.
Simply Wicca.
Hashtag Simply Wicca. Whatever you can do, wherever you can do it, it's all wonderful. And, you know, we totally, as Lisa says, we've been there. We know what it's like to have lots of months left.
We're not far from there now.
We know what it's like to have lots of months left at the end of the money, you know. But there are other things you can do. And it's you know, be that voice. Be that voice that we so desperately need. You know, there's all sorts of puerile and ridiculous stuff that you can see where there's hundreds of thousands of people following it.
I don't know how many people have found us because they've been looking for a statue from the Mabinogi, right? Some people have found us because they were looking for Hle or Bronwyn or Adenrod or, you know, whoever. They were, Caradwyn even, they were looking for a statue. And when they stumbled upon God Deity, they were agog because these are beautiful tributes to this mythology, to this pantheon.
It's the real deal. It's not some approximation mass-produced in China, you know, which we saw a lot of.
Much like Pamela Coleman's tarot, there are not just things thrown onto those statues. Each little extra bit has a reason for being there that could help people learn more about the mythology, or at least that deity's story. So there's a lot of things that we've been working on and that we've been working on for years. I mean, I can't remember how long ago we started with Joe working on statuary, but I want to say it's probably
a good number of years now.
Several years now, you know. And we are branching out. We've done Bast, and we're looking at Anubis, and we're working on with one of the other people in the community who is more familiar with Hecate. Joe is working with her for a Hecate statue that hopefully will be trying to be rude. I was looking for a good word, you know, because we're just saying, look, we need help, and we know that not everybody has money to donate, but some people have time. Some people have know-how, right?
Some people know people.
Some people know people. So whatever it is that you can do to help us with Celtica, because that is the thing that'll be...
That's the end game.
The end goal, right?
It's the end game,
so,
or whatever you
yes, we have a store, and we work very, very hard. And I don't know if anybody's been in lately, but we have the most stock we have ever had. We have some amazing pottery by a Wiccan high priestess that has just got the best vibe and feel to it. So she's making a living and being helped through the store. You know, our sculptor Joe Ladaddy is making these amazing statues, and what a symbiotic relationship that is. You know, the old gods are stirring, and we're creating these statues so that people can put them on their altar and build a relationship. You know, so there's a lot of things that are going on kind of behind the scenes that really need to be in front. They need to get some action. You know, many of you probably don't even know that we have monthly subscriptions. We have something called Witchy Wonders, which are like a teaching packet every month. Whatever it is that you get a whole bunch of information about it, whether it's a crystal or this month it's 7 crystals and a planetary 7-pointed star grid and information about that. You know, so it's a teaching process, the monthly subscriptions. It's not just like, oh, open this box of a mishmash of cheap stuff.
Yeah,
surprise,
here's some stuff we found on the floor. We threw it in a box. You can have it this month. Yeah.
Everything is well thought out and, you know, put together. We do a monthly magical year subscription where you get 8 Sabbats and 12 full moons. And it goes in depth about this is the Sabbat that's here. This is the Celtic ruler of it, the Celtic tree. And here's this kit for you to turn the wheel, or here's this kit for you to honor this Celtic lunation and this full moon. And, it's about fire, so the components are going to be in alignment with that. So we have two really witchy things for people who are Wiccan or want to get into practicing the craft. We also have monthly guided meditations. So if you're into more of the esoteric kind of spiritualist energy, there's that. What's going on here?
Well, hello,
Joe says at least 7 years.
At least 7 years.
At least 7 years. And he's working on Hecate's hair as we speak.
Focus on her hair, Joe. Focus on her hair, not us, all right? It's more important.
But anyway, so, we know when we meditate or when we think about it, we know that there are thousands of people who would love to find us.
Hundreds of thousands.
Help us find them. Help us find them, because you see what's out there, right? You see these other witchy things that are trending, and maybe the person got really lucky, or maybe they put some effort in there. But think about what time and effort and energy we have put into serving the community for nearly
30 years now. Yes.
We're not some fly-by-night, you have a negative energy around you, and if you buy this candle for $50, I'll take the hex off of you. We would never do something like that. We would empower you to help you feel better, not think that somebody else has power over you.
Oh, yeah.
So please help us get out there.
Well, thank you, Aaron.
Share
Aaron
this
says,
video.
I talk about your business all the time, and Cassandra says, hello, Cassandra, thank you for joining us. I think you might be new, but that's wonderful. But I would love to see.
So today's the soapbox, isn't it?
It is. We're on our soapbox. The reason being is we did our best, because we don't like lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people. I don't know
what you're on about now.
When we were on our little
spy
fact-finding mission,
Our
it was
spy
like
mission,
we're trying to remain, suitably distant from the madding crowds, many of whom had no concept of
COVID or masks,
what pandemic, what masks, yeah. But the stores that we went in, I mean, some are very nice. I'm not going to decry anybody whatsoever, but we've got everything that you could find in Salem, and then some, and a lot more of it. I didn't see a store that's got anything like the amount of tarot that we've got. Yeah, they might have got 5 or 6 or 7 of one kind of deck. We do too, if it's a really popular one, like right away. I think we carry a minimum of 12, unless we've been sold out of that particular one. But normally we buy that by the case, frankly. So yeah, we've got. Yes, she does. Oh well, thank you, Cassandra.
We have all the tools that people are looking for their spiritual path, and we can help with them understanding how to use it. And we will take the time with people.
We will.
But we need your help. We need to not be a best kept secret anymore. We need to drive people to our business and to Celtica in order for us to achieve that.
Erin has a question, and she says, can hexes work if you don't believe it? I refuse to indulge in them or believe in them. Well, 99.9% of witchcraft is headology. It is. And for something to have an effect, for something to alter things, there has to be belief. So if you believe somebody has got power over you, you're absolutely right. You've actually ceded power to them. If you believe that, everything that happens to you is because you must be cursed in some way, you are a self-fulfilling prophecy of that curse, And sometimes what we do when we help people with an issue is that we change their focus. And that's really what it comes down to. We try to change their focus. And ultimately, I guess hex breaking is changing the focus. If you're carrying this around, if that's your focus, and you think, I can't possibly move forward from here. Somebody's cursed me. It's my lot in life. Is that not owning a curse.
Joe
This is
says
my
it's
lot.
like a streaming service. If you don't subscribe to it, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
Right? So here's what I'm going to say, Aaron. Energy does follow thought, right? So we know if we are the person, goddess forbid, because we don't do it, but if we're the person who's casting the spell or creating the hex, we probably are quite impassioned about that negative, horrible thing, right? We want revenge, or we want someone to suffer, or, whatever we're working on that's dark and an emanation really of our shadow. So the person casting or placing can truly believe that they have that power to harm. But real witches, Wiccans anyway, are healers. They don't harm. They heal.
If you've done the course on ethics.
So let's put that on pause for a second. And now let's think about when somebody wants to manifest something positive, right? Let's say that you said, okay, I really need money for my rent payment this month. And I was, you think about all the things that led you to this spot where for whatever reason, you don't have your rent money, right? You lost your job, or you had to put the money into your car, or, whatever it was, medical bill, whatever it was that interrupted your flow. And now you have this need for rent money. You can cast a spell to bring you the rent money. And if you truly believe the rent money is coming, if you just surrender and open up and say, I've done all I can do now, I've worked extra hours, I've put out to my friends that I would take some part-time work, I've called in some favors, and I've done this spell, and I want the rent money to come in, and I totally believe it's going to. And if you just surrender and you totally believe it's coming to you, it comes. But if you block it and say, oh, I don't know if I'm worthy of receiving it. I spent that money on my car. I should have just taken the bus, or what. I made mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And you block the rent money from coming to you, it doesn't come. Works the same way in reverse. You can refuse to accept the crap being slung at you from the person who's trying to curse you. And you can believe that they are no more powerful, a witch, than you are. So your shields can go up, and you do not have to surrender and accept that curse. Right? Be like rubber. They're glue. Bounces off and sticks to them instead.
Yep.
Right? So that's what I'll say about that.
Sticks to you. Yeah, when you are focused, as Lisa says, on doing negative stuff, you're aligning with the energy of negativity. So generally speaking, people who do hurtful or vengeful magic tend not to be very positive people, and tend not to have a very wonderful and fulfilling life, because that's where their focus is. And that's very sad. But we won't do vengeful magic. We certainly will do protective magic. That's a whole different animal.
Shields
whatsoever.
up. You can put your shields up so you don't get harmed.
But we won't do vengeful or harmful magic, because I don't want to take on the karma of that.
No.
And nor does Lisa.
And I don't want to waste my energy trying to block somebody else's poo either. So people are saying some really nice things. Amber says, I always say that you hex yourself, and that's true. You do. You jinx yourself. The energy you're putting out there, that again, like, I'm probably going to be late for work today. But well, guess what now? You are. Oh, they're making cuts at work. I'm probably going to be the one that gets fired. Why would you do that to yourself?
What are you claiming,
Yeah, what are you claiming?
I am are the two most powerful words that you will ever issue. When we tell people, when you're doing magic as well, don't put words in there like want and need, because you will get a want magnify that. And you will get a need, and that's not what you want or need, is it?
So people are saying some really nice things. Shauna says you have the most incredible collection of tarot cards and oracle cards I've ever seen. I need to spend hours looking. That's true.
You could spend hours.
1,200, I think now, different. And Savannah says, I have literally shopped all across this country. Alaska, Hawaii, and a few other countries, and I always go into the metaphysical type shops, and I've never found a collection like yours. And Amber says, I believe the protection that I did before my car accident that happened saved me and my daughter.
Well, that's
absolutely.
Awesome, absolutely.
You know, take your precautions. Just because you're taking a precaution doesn't mean that you're opening yourself to the negativity, right? Okay, so difference is in the, oh, they're making cuts at work, and today they're going to announce who they're getting rid of. Oh my God, I bet they're going to fire me. That is opening yourself up to that negativity. Mm-hmm. Instead, saying, the thing to do is say, oh, I feel really bad that work isn't going so well and that they're going to have to make some cuts. But I know that I am a key player here. I know that I really help and that my bosses appreciate me. I'm going to be the last person they would ever think to let go. That's putting a shield up. It's addressing the issue and saying, I know there is an issue and I know some things are not so good, but it's keeping yourself safe from the poison dart, so to speak.
Indeed.
You know?
Yeah.
Going to happen. Poop is going to happen.
It does.
You know, and it happens every day.
And sometimes even a kick up the arse can be a step forwards.
Right.
It really can. I mean, we have both individually and collectively experienced very difficult things. But when we've gotten the other side of it, it was actually a blessing in disguise.
Right.
And that's something, sometimes, you know, when you're up to your ass in alligators, it's hard to remember your objective was in fact to drain the swamp, you know, because you're just dealing with all sorts of problems around you, and it's hard to be strategic and
it does seem that, you know, anytime you really get yourself running, there is something that's going to try to trip you up. You know, like we opened our first store in England, and what happened? We opened in August,
mm-hmm.
and then we had 9/11 and foot and mouth. So our progress was greatly impeded.
Even here's before we open, there's always a challenge, and I love this with both shops. There's always been a challenge on just before opening day. The water heater overheated and flooded and ruined some of our stock. Day one at Bishop's Castle, mm-hmm. and day one at Ludlow, the lock had broken.
Somebody
had to call the locksmith.
Well, yeah, somebody broke it. One of the little lovely hoodlums had broken a key off in the lock so that Amanda couldn't open her first day. So, you know, things are going to happen, but you don't want to let that define you. You just keep getting on with it.
Dwellers on the threshold.
Dwellers on the threshold. But I will tell you, you know, you guys have to, we talk about our story on Fantastic Fridays, and we have set some pretty amazing goals for ourselves, and many times things get in the way. We've taken care of, until they passed away, 3 of our 4 parents. Mm-hmm. My dad and both Anton's mom and dad. Mm-hmm. My mom passed away when I was quite young, and my dad really was her caretaker. We've had to deal with foot and mouth. We've had to deal with 9/11. That both of those things kind of impeded our travel.
Foot and mouth. Nobody would probably understand what we're talking about, but this is where
a huge
absolute lockdown in the British Isles, total lockdown, simply because this is a very, very contagious cattle disease, sheep and cattle disease. Nobody could move anywhere. I mean, our friends who own a farm literally locked themselves away from humanity until it passed, so to speak.
Craft of the Wise is the second Sunday of every month.
For the most part.
For the most part. There
are a couple of variations on that.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, no matter how hard you focus on the positive, you are going to have setbacks. So it seems like every time we really get, something going, right? So we really had this focus. This property came up. We really had this focus and this campaign for Celtica. Mm-hmm. And we thought, how are we going to get better known? And we came up with some fantastic ideas to build our social media profile, and then COVID.
Yep, all went for a ball of chalk.
So, you have to learn how to pick yourself up and go forward. So that's where we're at again. How are we going to reinvent now? But I have to say that after some research, and I think more needs to be done, I was not overly impressed and inspired to open a store in Salem?
Not just yet. Not just yet. Well, we and ah a little bit, and we looked at it, and yeah, there's an opportunity to earn a great deal of money, but would it raise our profile?
I don't know.
Maybe the only thing that would probably raise our profile is our branded bags and having people carrying them around.
Yeah.
But I think we just, the main thing for us, and I say this is the route to our end game. We've determined, all right, we know this to be a self-evident truth, that in order for us to be able to influence a great number of people to make a change in the world, we need to be in a position of being an influencer, which means we have to be better known. And it's when people walk into our store, I've never had anybody walk in and go, "Oh, this is like meh,"
Oh, we've had a couple of people review it and say that it was dark and scary and negative, and they felt things glob on to them. But that's kind of an expression of their own shadow, I think.
Yeah, and also, know where your sources are as well, and perhaps who they work for, and it's one of your competitors who decides they'd like to throw a curveball your way. We're not stupid. No. But for the most part, 99.95% of the people that walk in our store love it because the store loves them, and it's such a happy and healing and accepting atmosphere.
And please understand that we are completely invested in our tradition, and we really totally are devoted to our community. If people think, oh, well, they're just about the money, they're always asking for help and blah, blah, blah. That is not the case. I don't think that over this past 20 months where we have been Zooming our circles, there's maybe a small handful of times that we've reminded people that the Church of the Eternal Circle survives on the weekly donations from the people who come to Circle, right? So in the past, to pay that insurance, right?
Which ain't cheap.
To pay that insurance for public gathering and for public gathering outside, there's a liability insurance, right? To pay that insurance every month, whoever came to Circle would leave, $1, $5, whatever they could in the donation basket.
Maybe 20.
And every month at the end of the month, the shop would have to put in the balance. Well, what do you think has happened over the time we've been Zooming? Very, very few people, although there have been a few.
Yeah, it's been a couple. Have
put any money in that can, and the shop has covered it. It's not about the money. There might be other people who would have thought, well, they would just cancel the insurance, but it's not that easy to get, so you can't do that.
Yeah, we have a little can in the store where people can make a donation for candy or water, and some bloody urchin stole it.
Yeah, about a month ago now, someone took the can out on the porch and took all of the money out of it, which were the dollar bills from candy and water that we try to raise money that way for.
So obviously that person must have been in a very desperate position. That's all I can say, that they would need that money, and I hope it helps them.
So I'm not saying that we're asking you to give us money. I'm saying give us time, effort, energy, show up for our things, share our things, help us to help the community. And in the end, we will have Celtica.
Exactly.
We will have the Great Hall. We will have an established place for our tradition. We will have a Craft of the Wise modern witchcraft museum in this country that people can go to. We will have a place to save the bees and clean the water and offer healing. And we know we will get there. But Anton and I think we've got about 20 good years left to make that happen. So we need to get on with it.
So Yeah, we're going to have Celtic Around. So there's some lovely thoughts being shared amongst us. And honestly, you guys, thank you. I mean, you render us speechless often. I mean, I'm not wishing to out Alice, but I know Alice has been so kind to us. I mean, she's come and she's got her hands and feet and up to her elbows in the dirt, tidying up around the place and gardening and all that sort of stuff. Thank you.
So
for
that's
that.
time and effort and energy, which is a fantastic donation of direction to point things in the right direction.
We got another one of our guys comes along and mows frequently now.
One of the members of the community, because he knows that we just don't. How are we going to do it all? Right? We're supposed to be developing a website. We're supposed to be developing social media. We're supposed to be buyers and marketers and planners and all,
we tell everybody we can do everything, we just can't do it all at once,
right? So he knows that if you don't mow your grass, new palts will find you. So he makes so
much a foot, and we've got 100 foot of frontage, so and we have to shovel our sidewalk. Our neighbors don't care so much, and so we wind up often shoveling
we talked
theirs.
A lot today.
But that's right, we should though, we bring people into our lives, and we have given our lives in service at this point. We've taken an oath. Our lives are given in service to the old gods and service to our community. Nobody in their right mind would be a high priestess. Nobody at all.
It's interesting.
Look at the card to the toe. We're talking about high priestess card. I love it. There's a story here. We'll tell that in a second. But yeah, we do what we can to try and help our community. We do what we can to try and help our environment, our planet.
Connect people with other people. Connect people with the tools they need. Connect people with the information that they need. That's what it's about.
We're not motivated to make a buck, and if that was our gig, then absolutely.
We'd have a store in Salem tomorrow if we thought that was going to.
We'd spend a lot of money on loss prevention, but we want to talk to our customers. We don't just want to take money out of their pockets, Yes, we need to sell stuff to keep a roof over our heads, and
ask anybody who's running a metaphysical store if they're making millions, and I don't think any of them are.
I think some of them. There's a couple I could name in Salem I think are doing all right. And I mean,
but are they doing all right all year, or do they make their money in October that pays their rent until April?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, given the rent of that place, because I know what a square foot it costs.
$7,000.
That's insane. So that's insane. And
no wonder this item that I sell for $6 is $22.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I saw a couple of hand thrown chalices. I nearly lost my breakfast. It was like $300. What? What?
Ours are 30, but our rent is not $7,000.
And we got a mortgage though.
We do have a mortgage, and we do have those lovely taxes. Well,
the taxes are as much as the bloody mortgage, just about.
Yeah,
it's insane. So, but there's more to it than that. We're not in it for the money, but we do need to be influencers. So we're asking you guys to help us do that. For me personally,
I honestly believe that the work we're doing makes a difference.
I think
that somebody comes in with some real information need, or just needs to chill out and hold some rocks. I really feel the work that we're doing makes a difference. We need to find the people who need to find us, and I don't know how we're going to do that.
Well, it's down to you guys. All of you guys have obviously you interact with social media. You wouldn't be watching us right now. So we're just going to respectfully say, do the Fabergé thing. Tell some people. Share this video. Share what you think is a good video. Maybe the one where we the bunny adventure on the rock buying trip. That's quite a good one to share around as well.
All right. Yeah, Brenda says Salem has become very competitive. I know that concerned me that we wouldn't be liked. And Nicole says it's sad Salem's not the same as it was years ago. It's very commercialized.
It is.
It's true. I mean, there's a beautiful history there, and the museums are fantastic.
It's actually a very beautiful part of the world.
It
the
is.
harbour is lovely,
There are so many pros, but then there are a few little things that are conning me. And I'm not. Anyway, card of the day, because we got to get on with our day.
Oh.
Card of the day is the Queen of Pentacles, which ironically is the card I sat for Christopher Hughes' Celtic Tarot deck.
I don't think there's an irony there. I think there's a deep connection.
It is the dawn. It is the dawn, the mother of Earth. But all that aside, my reading for you for today is a skip quote. Look and you will see more. You see that this queen is holding on to that pentacle card, and I think this is probably the shop calling.
The shop is obviously not watching Elevensies right now.
But anyway, so my reading for you for today is look and you will see more. You really know more than you think. And what is your reading for today?
Nourishment, not punishment. Okay? If you want to get something good out of something, you have to nourish it. You have to care for it. You have to love it. You have to cherish it and feed all sorts of good energy into it. So I think this is as much a card for us today, given that what we're about to set out and get our heads together on. This is very much a story for us as well, for everybody else. But it is lovely. And again, apologies for skipping the last 2 days. We tried, but it just wasn't going to work.
No, we had a really horrible signal, and we knew we couldn't. It would just be disjointed and frustrating.
It would cause more frustration
for everybody.
Yes, more frustration than good. So forgive us. But we're back on track now.
All right. So do your thing. Catch the wave. Get in the stream. Help us create this stream of consciousness that sends everybody to 180 Main Street to turn their life around. It's not 180 for no reason.
Like the afterburners. Life happens and you guys are always doing the best as always. Well, thank you. And Alice says she can't wait to visit again and loves to play in the sacred dirt. So pray. Thank you.
All right.
We love it when you do.
Let's get on with it.
Thank you so very much. I did that right at the start.
Okay.
I did that.
Because we got to get going. It's nearly noon.
No, we've been on for a bleeding age here. We've been nearly an hour today.
All right, let's get on with it.
Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure.
Brightest blessings.
Yep.
We'll see you on Monday.
We'll see you on Monday, unless we got box openings, because there's probably stuff on the way in.
All right.
So, all right. Have an